first. Walk me through a little bit about how this model works and some of the intuition behind it.
Sure. So this is directly in the lineage of RNNs. There's not that much novel from like the RNN standpoint, at least in my opinion. They do have this idea of, inspired by the brain, where I have like, there's different parts of the brain that operate on different frequencies. There's some that operate at a really high frequency, which is on the low level of the hierarchy. Some that operate in a really low frequency, which is the higher level of the hierarchy. And the interplay between those things is really interesting.
So this is like literally in the human brain, there's some like inspiration here, which is that like you have like different waves running at different frequencies at different parts of the brain or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I guess that's one interpretation of it, of the way that they're talking about classifying these hierarchies of frequencies. And the most interesting part, at least for me, is the way that they train the neural network. You take in some X, some input, whether it's a incomplete Sudoku puzzle, a maze, or an ArcPrize challenge. You do TL steps with the lower level module. Then you go to H. You do that TH times, and then you have N sup outer refinement steps.
Yeah. So you basically are like running through the input with a given matrix with a given transformation repeatedly on it, and you're doing that through 2 levels of refinement, and then basically running that process several times.
Yes. So there's exactly 3 levels of recursion occurring here. There's the low level, there's the high level, and then there's the outer refinement steps.
And we're calling it recursion because it's the same weights that are being applied repeatedly. We're not changing the weights in between these steps.
Exactly right. Cool. You get to recurse on the LNet TL times. You recurse on the TH and the TL, this looped recursion, TH times, and then you do N sup, you do this whole outer refinement step, N sup times.
Cool. And so what's the basic intuition for why that works? Like, why does that produce an effective paper result, and what even were the results that this paper showed?
Yeah, and so, I mean, this got state of the art on ArcPrize 1 and 2. This was only a 27 million parameter model that was only trained on ArcPrize.
So it's like 1,000 inputs or something like that, like puzzles basically.
Literally 1,000 tasks, which is extremely small. There is no pre-training at all. This starts from like literally tabula rasa weights, and it can outperform at that time. If we go back, we had 03, if you remember way back when, and 03 gets 0. Literally 0, and this got like something like 70% on ArcPrize 1 at least at the time, which was just a huge breakthrough. And so kind of the way you can kind of think this is like variable scoping. And so like if I have like 3 nested functions, I guess the first, the lowest level function has like scoped variables, which they'll call ZL, which is the carry that inits to 0.
A latent variable,
latent variable. Yeah. In like traditional RNN literature, they would call this the hidden state, the low level hidden state. And I get to recurse, and then I pass back that ZL back to the outer scoped function, the higher level one. I let that one do 1 iter. It goes back and calls the lower level again. It does this whole thing in a third outer loop, which is called the outer refinement step.